Simulated gear changes in an electric car. A few years ago, that idea would have generated a certain kind of response from the EV community. Skepticism at best, outright mockery at worst. The whole point of an electric motor, the argument went, was that you didn't need gears. Instant torque, seamless acceleration, no interruptions in power delivery. Why would anyone want to artificially reintroduce something the technology had made obsolete? Porsche's answer for the 2027 Taycan is because driving engagement matters, and because some of what makes a performance car feel alive has always been about the interaction between driver and machine rather than pure mechanical efficiency. Whether you find that convincing will probably depend on how you feel about the Taycan already, but the implementation is more considered than the concept might initially suggest. The system is called eShift, and it gives drivers 8 simulated gears to work through via paddle shifters on the steering wheel. Software generates individual torque characteristics for each virtual ratio. A virtual rev limiter encourages upshifts at specific points rather than simply holding maximum acceleration, and the electric sport sound system has been recalibrated to respond to the simulated shifting in a way that creates audio feedback coordinated with driver inputs. The goal is to establish a rhythm during spirited driving, the kind of push-pull engagement that combustion car drivers associate with working through a gearbox properly, without actually compromising the electric drivetrain's fundamental advantages. There's an interesting technical wrinkle worth understanding here. The Taycan already has a real 2-speed transmission on the rear axle, which is unusual for an EV and has contributed to the car's dynamic reputation since launch. That gearbox operates automatically and mostly invisibly. Drivers don't interact with it during normal driving. eShift is an entirely separate software layer that runs independently from the actual hardware. So while the real transmission continues doing its job in the background, drivers can simultaneously work through 8 virtual ratios that exist only in the control software. It's a genuinely unusual arrangement, and the fact that Porsche has made it feel coherent rather than gimmicky is a credit to the calibration work involved. An automatic mode exists for those who want the engagement element without the manual involvement. In this setting, the system cycles through the simulated ratios on its own, generating the audio and torque variation cues without requiring paddle input. It's a reasonable middle ground for drivers who appreciate the added texture without wanting to manage gear selection on top of everything else. Purists will presumably go straight to manual mode and leave it there. eShift comes standard on the Taycan Turbo GT and is available as an option across the rest of the lineup. That tiering makes sense. The Turbo GT buyer is almost certainly the customer most likely to want maximum engagement, while buyers of other variants deserve the choice rather than having the feature imposed on them. Some Taycan owners will prefer the traditional EV experience, and Porsche has respected that preference rather than defaulting to the new system across the board. Beyond eShift, the 2027 update addresses several areas that needed attention regardless of the transmission simulation story. Entry-level Taycan, Taycan 4, and Taycan 4S models now get the larger 105 kWh Performance Battery Plus as standard equipment, which previously was positioned further up the range. This matters practically. More capacity means more usable range and better sustained performance, and the battery supports DC fast charging at up to 320 kilowatts, which remains among the quicker charging rates available in the segment. Getting that battery into the lower trims brings the everyday usability of those cars closer to what the higher spec versions offer, which benefits buyers who weren't previously willing or able to pay the premium for the larger pack. Porsche has also added a battery state of health display, giving owners clearer information about long-term pack condition over time. This sounds like a minor addition, but it addresses a genuine concern among EV buyers. Battery degradation anxiety is real, and having transparent data rather than opaque guesswork about how the pack is performing gives owners something concrete to evaluate. As these cars age and the secondary market for them develops, that kind of visibility will matter increasingly to both current owners and prospective buyers. Charging compatibility gets an overdue update for American customers. A North American Charging Standard connector is now located on the passenger side front fender, opening up access to a charging network that has grown considerably and that many Taycan owners have had to navigate with adapters until now. The existing J1772 AC port on the driver's side stays in place, and a CCS adapter is included, which means owners have genuine flexibility rather than being dependent on a single connector type. It's the kind of practical improvement that doesn't generate excitement in press releases, but makes a meaningful difference to how the car fits into daily life. Inside, the infotainment system has received significant attention. The latest version of Porsche Communication Management runs on hardware delivering reportedly 5 times the processing power of the previous system. Anyone who has spent time with Porsche's infotainment over the past few years will appreciate why that matters. Responsiveness in the previous setup could be inconsistent, and the kind of lag that's acceptable in a phone becomes noticeable and frustrating in a car you're paying 6 figures for. Faster hardware means quicker responses to inputs, smoother transitions between functions, and a generally more fluid experience throughout. The interface itself has been redesigned with cleaner graphics and a more minimalist icon layout. Porsche has moved toward customizable widgets that allow drivers to prioritize frequently used functions, which is the right approach. Every driver uses their infotainment differently, and a system that adapts to individual patterns is more useful than one that imposes a fixed hierarchy of features. An App Center adds access to both Porsche-developed applications and approved third-party software, expanding the digital ecosystem beyond what was previously available. Voice control has been meaningfully improved. The updated system handles natural follow-up questions without requiring a wake phrase each time, which sounds small but changes the interaction significantly in practice. Current voice assistants in most cars require you to restate your intent from scratch for each query, which makes the feature tedious enough that most owners stop using it. A system that maintains conversational context allows for the kind of back-and-forth dialogue that actually reduces distraction rather than adding to it. Wireless charging now delivers up to 25 watts, which Porsche claims is roughly 1.5 times faster than the previous setup. As phones have gotten larger and their batteries bigger, slower wireless chargers have become increasingly inadequate. The pad that topped up a phone in 20 minutes 3 years ago now barely keeps pace with screen-on consumption. The upgraded output makes the feature genuinely useful rather than theoretically nice to have.
Over-the-air updates for the infotainment system are now available without dealership involvement, which brings Taycan ownership in line with what Tesla owners have had for years and what buyers of premium EVs now reasonably expect. The ability to push refinements and improvements throughout a car's life without requiring a service appointment is one of the legitimately transformative aspects of connected vehicle technology, and its absence from earlier Taycans was a gap worth closing. Personalization options have expanded considerably. 16 additional paint-to-sample colors brings the total to 153 special order finishes, which is the kind of number that reflects Porsche's understanding of their customer base. Taycan buyers at this price point are not generally looking for whatever the standard color palette offers. They want something specific, and the breadth of the available program reflects a serious commitment to delivering it. Porsche's customization capabilities have historically been a meaningful part of the brand's premium positioning, and maintaining that at the EV end of the lineup reinforces continuity with the broader Porsche ownership experience. Pricing starts at $111,900 before destination for the rear-wheel drive Taycan, with orders already open and deliveries expected in the fall. That baseline positions the 2027 car in familiar territory relative to the outgoing model. And the improvements across battery capacity, charging, technology, and engagement make the package more competitive than the headline price change might suggest. Context matters here. Taycan sales have declined from their early peak years, which is partly a product of an increasingly competitive premium EV market, and partly a reflection of the wider slowdown in EV adoption growth that most manufacturers have experienced. The 2027 update doesn't attempt to fundamentally reinvent the car. The Taycan's core strengths are well established, and the platform doesn't need a ground-up revision. What it needed was sharper engagement, better everyday usability, broader charging compatibility, and a technology suite that felt current. The update addresses all of those things in reasonable measure. Whether eShift will become a genuinely beloved feature or a novelty that owners occasionally demo for passengers and then leave switched off is something that only time and real-world usage will determine. Porsche has been careful enough about the implementation that the case for it is credible, which is more than can be said for some synthetic engagement features that have appeared elsewhere in the industry. The rest of the update is less philosophically interesting, but arguably more immediately useful. And taken together, the 2027 Taycan makes a stronger argument for itself than the outgoing version did, in a segment that's gotten considerably more crowded since the original car launched.